is. So, hi guys, Randy, that's me. Awesome. How's everyone doing? This is an exciting moment. We're gonna try and get ourselves kind of in this frame. Are you playing it on the big speaker? Are you playing on the big speaker? He's playing it on the big speaker. Go ahead, play it on the big speaker as long as it's not too loud. Yeah, we can do that. Go ahead. Getting in the mood.
Okay.
You gotta,
Hold on.
Okay. Oh, whoa! You're kicking in the bass there too. A little bit louder. Is good. We gotta find the happy medium. Hey everyone. Okay, we want to make sure that we're both in the frame here and that we can kind of fit. This is the first time I'm doing this with someone live with me, which is Mr. Zola Felix, the husband of husbands. I want to welcome you to Hope's Corner on this Valentine's Day. Wishing everybody love. They all talk about all the lovely husbands and wives and couples and all that stuff. But as a community, we share togetherness and we share lots and lots of love. So we're joining you from my family to yours. We're sending out lots of love today on this day of, hearts. And I am so happy to have
me,
Mr. Zola Felix. I am the wife of a wonderful husband we have shared 12 years together. Well, 12 years married.
Almost 12 married, yeah.
12 married, 18, almost 19 years. Yeah, together. Wow. And so today is exciting for me because I'm the one who's all jumpy and bubbly, and he's the calm of the storm. And so, I'm just kind of talking about how we make this work, how this has been going for us, and just talking about love, right?
Wait a minute. Is that my sister online?
Yes, your sister is online. That's okay. What Mark is saying, yes, Mr. Z. You see him with them smart glasses. All right, okay.
Blue light filter.
Blue light filter? So, what I wanted to do today is kind of have a discussion with the husband and want to make sure that we stay together at the end. You know me. I can ask lots of questions, but, we're going to try and keep this as kosher as possible. Yes. So, first and foremost, what do you think about what's our love story? Do we have a love story? Is there a love story?
Yes, there's always a love story. Comes in different forms.
Okay.
For me, the love story is more about where the foundations of a friendship, and that friendship started the junior high.
Okay.
So yeah, not a lot of people know of how we met, but it all started from, hey, this is who I am. Hope was introduced to our class in junior high, and me being cordial, stood up out of my desk, went to greet Hope, and introduced myself. So I remember that. Hope doesn't remember that. It was quick, but it was more or less that's how the friendship started. Of course, that was many, many years ago, so I don't remember all the detail. But I think a love story starts with the foundation of a friendship, knowing that you have the same principles, knowing that you respect one another, looking at your family circle, circle of friends. And so over time, you come to realize, hey, like, this girl's pretty cool, right? Woot woot. And as time goes on, years goes on, even if there's a disconnect in terms of, like, going to different schools,
Yeah.
life happens.
Yep.
You get back and you start reestablishing friendship. You're like, hey, that's the same cool girl I knew from like grade 8, grade 9, grade 10. So looking at that story, it just kind of helped evolve our relationship from friendship to, you know, good friends to like serious friends to where we are now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can probably add a little bit more tidbits as we go along, but that's how the love story started.
Yeah. So what made me twinkle in your eye?
I think what, wow, this
Oh
is
dear.
making, okay.
Uh-huh.
What,
Remember, it has to be short. Huh?
what made you twinkle in my eye?
Yes. What made me twinkle in your eye?
It was your smile and your personality. Who doesn't love this hope inspired smile? So hope smile, her cheerful spirit is what has always been an attraction, not only to myself but to all of her peers and her family. She's the spirited one. Comments. Spirited one. She loves to laugh. I think that's one thing that kind of drew me towards hope over, you know, our serious relationship. It's like, you know what? Even through the storm, she still finds a way to smile and laugh. So I love that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Any okay, so I did this with Terrell when I was on with him last time. And I was like, is there anything, that is challenging about being with me?
Yes, yes.
Hey, remember it. We have to go to bed tonight.
And there's just one bed. Is there anything challenging? I look at it. Okay, so one thing that you guys have to understand about me is I always look at whole picture. So if for somebody to say no, I have a perfect wife, or no, that's for me. We're human. We all have our difficulties. We all have our challenges, and I think for Hope, one thing I discovered over time was she can be very strong-willed, and so I think that comes from her experience in the past with the family dynamics, her experience with trying to just navigate through life, sometimes with her family, sometimes on her own. And when you're on your own, you have to kind of account for yourself. So being together, I've seen some characteristics of where like she makes the decision and she's just gonna stick by that decision.
Toban.
That's what they call it. So
what do you call it?
Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay.
Don't worry about it. Okay, fine.
It's just that's the way relationships work, and that's what you agree to. You have to get along with the next, with your counterpart, and you both figure it out and navigate through life together that way.
So the saying that says, "Happy wife, happy life."
Yeah, that works.
100%.
Oh yeah, 100%. We're online, right?
Yeah,
it's 100%.
So one of the questions that I was asking Zola before we came on here was like, do we argue?
Not in a traditional. If you say argue, I'll just give a small piece.
Sure.
Argue, for me, how do I put this easy? My experience of arguing would be like boisterous, loud, irrespectful, not listening to the other person. That's I think for the both of us, that's out of character.
Yeah.
I'm not that type of person to speak over someone. Hope isn't that type of person. So we disagree to try to find resolution.
Yeah.
We don't argue over top of each other. You can call it an argument if our opinions don't line up.
Yeah.
But we're always looking to kind of find a resolution. And the resolution may not be in that moment of the discussion. It may not be that same day, but it's like sometimes you have to leave it alone.
Right.
Pray about it. Understand the space that person's in, your counterpart's in the right mind frame to be able to revisit conversations. And doesn't come easy. It's not because I've known Hope for a very long time that I figured this out. We've had counseling. We've gone to marriage and counseling seminars, relationship counseling.
Yeah.
So we've learned from others as well along the way. So I think that's really helped to understand how to have that dynamic. But no, we don't argue, especially in front of the children. Like when Terrell, when he was younger,
Yeah.
in front of Aaron, we don't argue. We have passionate discussions, conversations.
You took that from me. You took that passionate conversation.
Passionate,
That's me because
spirited
I'm
conversation.
passionate. I can say that I'm spirited. I'm okay with that. But no, we try not to argue in regards to like screaming and yelling at each other. We do have our heated discussions sometimes. We know, like I know, we read body language, right, of each other. I can understand when I'm pressing his buttons. You understand when you're pressing. You don't really press my buttons. He doesn't really press my buttons. If there's anybody who presses buttons, it's probably me. But I think why do we work well? Why do we work well?
It's being able to see beyond the little things and look at the bigger picture. So, we can be a little bit transparent here. If we're going to have not an argument, if we're going to have a discussion and we disagree, it's because of something small, like, chores around the house or cleaning or something in the bathroom. Like, hey, babe, can you help me clean the bathroom at least this time a week or X amount of times a week? I'm like, okay, sure. Like, I'm trying to fit it into my routine and my schedule. It's not consistent, but we sometimes disagree about the semantics of that as an example.
True.
But that doesn't lead to an argument and like, moving furniture.
Sleeping in separate rooms.
We're not throwing tables and chairs and sleeping in separate rooms over that.
Right.
There's so much more than that, to talk about. Even if we were to talk about bigger issues like financial issues, we don't disagree or argue over that. So, the way I look at it is we all have a journey. We've agreed to help each other along the way in this marriage, and it's a day by day commitment.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you can't argue about the little things in life. If you laugh, I think I was reading it in Psalm somewhere about laughter, or I don't remember exactly where, but laughter is good for the soul. So the more that you can kind of like figure it out and laugh about it later and find a smile in your counterpart's face, it's going to help the relationship grow and help sustain and live a long, prosperous life. Yeah.
Right. So, sometimes we talk about, especially Black love and marriages and stuff like that. And, statistically in this world, they're trying to tell us that it doesn't work and there's not a lot of Black marriages. But I know for myself that I know many of people who have been married for many years, and, some people have gotten remarried and stuff like that. But I do believe in love. I love love. Let me say that. So I just love love. I love the fact that we as human beings can connect one to another. I believe in a God that created that love for us, and he gave it to us to share to others. And that's what we do best, right? And I know sometimes when we've gone through a lot of different situations, our hearts are guarded, but just being able to challenge that place of guardedness, especially like Zola, you did say it and you talked about it. We talked about counseling, and counseling is a great piece. It doesn't matter if you're single or you're together. Counseling is a great piece that definitely helps couples, and even if you're thinking of being a couple with someone, to find out your non-negotiables, talk about boundaries, restrictions, how you share information with family and friends. Because I can be mad at Zola for something, and if I share it, depending on who I share it with, like I'm over it the next day, but that person isn't. right? And then they harvest that and they hold it and they keep pushing it back on you. So you always got to be kind of careful in regards to guarding your relationship, even guarding within yourself and understanding how you stand as an individual. And again, what's your non-negotiables from your negotiables, so that when you join in with somebody, that it definitely can work, and it will work. And so, I mean, for the both of us, one of the things that connects us really well is our spiritual life. Like, we are really connected in that, and just finding different connections. We connect well in music, although I boss him around sometimes in music because I always ask him to play for me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just finding those connections. I'm the bubbly one. I'm the one that's always excited. He's the calm one. He calms me down. But yeah, just finding those balances and having those relationships, having those connections, those are the things that are positives. And so, what I wanted to say to you, and I do this to my children, I do this to my husband, I do this to my family, I do this to my friends, is I want to say thank you. Thank you for staying by my side. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for putting up with me. The other day, I actually had to call him and tell him, I think I need you to come home. And he did. And that actually really, I don't know if you know this, but it really warmed my heart because, it might have not been an emergency per se, but where I was emotionally, I needed it. And for you to actually leave work, you have to tell the people them that you need to come home, and you actually did it. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate that, because I see that that's an attentive side of you that I appreciate. So I always say, give the flowers now. Give the kudos now. Give the love now. Do those things so that you're not living in regret, and just living transparent. Because we've had lots of transparent conversations, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And as you're speaking to that, I just kind of reflect in my mind. It's just a matter of sacrifice. I think that's the one word that you have to consider is sacrifice for yourself and for your family. And you're putting, I'm putting you first. I'm putting God first and putting you first, and then my family, and then myself last. That's the main thing. So the more that you practice that daily and think about that in the small things, such as, hey babe, like, this is what's happening at home, I'm wondering if you can help me out. Sure, like, that's a small thing.
Yeah.
But you can see the impact in your counterpart. And so looking forward, it's a matter of, like, when life gets rough and there's more challenging or more challenges to come, then it's easier for you to be able to sacrifice yourself and give yourself more. I think that's what helps the relationship as well.
Yeah, I definitely believe so. Because yes, we've had a lot of transparency. We've had lots of conversations. We've done a lot of counsel. We've gone to a couple, not retreats, but we've gone to like couple shows, and we've done different seminars and stuff like that. And so in doing these things, it's helped us, I think, tremendously to stay connected. So it's always good to do something together. We usually do stuff Saturday night sometimes with Aaron and with Terrell when he was here. We always found activities to try and do together, and just little things to celebrate. It didn't have to be anything big. We didn't have to go anywhere. It was just little tiny things to celebrate. And I'm actually going to do that today. I'm going to do that right now. But do you have anything to say as I do this?
Yeah, celebration is cool. It doesn't have to be grandiose. It's just a matter of, like Hope said, finding the little things. When Terrell was younger, we would find a movie for him to watch, and we'd just all be a part of that. That was our Saturday night thing.
Yep.
And it continues on with Aaron.
Yeah.
Terrell is now 26.
Almost
26. Well, yeah, next month.
Yeah.
And Aaron is 9.
Yeah.
So the tradition continues.
Yes, yeah.
And we're still here.
We're high five, buddy.
It's okay to high five your wife and
Listen. Oh, as
to
you're
like-
saying that, like,
like.
yes, that is the one thing, more than one thing that I talk to my friends about. I talk to, people like, listen, it is one thing to say you love somebody. It is another thing to say you like somebody. And a lot of people, a lot of couples are married and they say, yeah, I love him, but there sounds like there's a but behind there. You know what I mean? One of the things that myself and Zola, we talk about it. I do it a lot. And I'm like, I like you. Like, I love him, but I like you. And everybody's like, well, get a room, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you guys are too mushy. But it is excitement to be with somebody you like, because, being, sure, anyone can be married. I knew growing up, I knew couples who were married who slept in separate rooms. I know couples who were married where one couple was down in the basement, one was on the main floor. You know what I'm saying? I know couples who, soon as the husband left the room, oh, good, I'm glad he's gone because we can't turn him. There's like, they argue all day and all night long. And Lord, it's just one of those things where it's just like, why are they together? Right? And that works for some people. That's great that it works for them. But it's one thing to actually have that relationship that you enjoy. Like, I really enjoy this dude.
So can I ask one quick thing?
Sure.
With that, love is such a... Yes, as you turn that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Love is a very big word. A lot of people have trouble defining what love is.
Continue.
So I think the problem is we get lost in yeah, sure, I love him. Yeah, sure, I love her. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to me? But I think like narrows it down. Like, you have to really, like, if you don't like somebody, it's very specific. It's very like, you don't have a lot of, I don't like that person, but I like them when they're like this, or I like them when they're like that. It's like, there's less to like about a person, or there's more to like about a person than there is just to have a statement of love. Because love can mean you respect. Love can mean like, oh, it's an agape love. I love them in like the way that God loves them. Well, that's not the same love as you like liking the person to love them. It's not the same kind of concept to me. If I like you, I want to be in your circle.
Yeah, we're this close.
We're close.
Yeah.
I can love you, but not be near you because I don't like to be near you.
Right.
Which doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But a lot of couples think that way.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, it's all right, me love him, and death do us part. It's all right. Well, we're gonna make it to. And sometimes I'm like, you're gonna make it to the what? You make it to the kingdom. You're sure about that? You like the person, but yeah, that's the one thing that I always I like. I want to say I love the fact that I like you. Like,
Amen.
when we shut our house down very early. We're in bed. Everything is turned off by like 10 o'clock, I think. 10:30, right? I cut off I wake up very early in the morning, so I get things cut off. But we make it a priority as a family to close down stuff at a certain time. Everybody's like quiet time by a certain time. And, we do our bedtime story with Aaron, and he goes to bed, and then it's us, we go to bed. Some things have changed, like school-wise has changed that for me. But I definitely know that just taking things in priority and taking them one at a time, and even discussing things like, when you're okay and when you're not okay as a couple, right? So it's not only me just saying I'm okay or I'm not okay. I welcome the fact that Zola can do that as well. Like when he's like, I need a minute or whatever, I respect that, Love languages. Can we talk? We can't open that, eh? It's not opening?
It's going to go off camera for now.
Okay, go off camera. I was trying to get it open. Love languages. I don't know if you've ever heard of a book called The 5 Love Languages, but that was something that our counselor, Pastor Pete, had given to us to read. There was a his copy and a her copy, and I took advantage of. We both took advantage of it because we read it together, and we were able to establish what our love language was, right? And so I believe that is one of the things that has taken us through the years, because I know what his love language is. Do you know know what my love language is, right? Or you remember? Okay, good. But I know that there's certain expectations.
It's touch.
Hold on. Yeah. You're just... it's making sure that you're aware of the languages, and so that when you're attentive to those things, it definitely enhances the relationship. So I don't know if this is gonna work. Hold on a second. Give me one moment. Don't. One of us has to be in the screen. Be in the screen for me.
Why don't I get something to
pop it?
Pop it.
What I wanted to do was just cheers the husband at the end before we leave. I want to thank you guys for coming on, being attentive. I was trying to see if there's going to be any chatter in the chat. If you have any questions in regards to us, as he's trying to do his thing here, pop it up even right now to see if, I don't know if we can be kosher enough to answer, but if there is anything out there in regards to questions, in regards to the pair, let us know, because it's great when we both can be here to answer together. Is it working? Did you get it? Don't mash up yourself, Yes. And we just wanted to share some love today. So even if we don't get it, be careful, Even if we don't get it open, you can just get something else in the fridge. At this moment, the bottle won't open up. It's saying don't drink online. There's nothing there. Oh dear. All right, bring the water. See, this is what we're talking about when it's called improvising and just doing something. Babe, don't mash up yourself. Okay. Anyhow. Thank you for joining us. We are just here to share some love and get some apple juice. I'm trying to find something. I can't find anything unless I run out the screen here, and I don't want to do that. So Zola's off on the side trying to make it work, but clearly it's close, but not close enough. I don't know what type of, it's a non-alcoholic, so I don't know why it's so. The cork, listen, don't mash up your hand. This cork thing is not working. Just come back here. We'll cheers an empty glass. We'll fill it up.
Water.
Oh Lord. Okay. Water. As I said, we're gonna improvise. It's reverse osmosis. Is it even? All right, come back on here.
Just get a consensus from the group if it's even.
Is it even? Pull it up in the frame. Is it even? I think. Don't do that.
Okay.
All right. So what I wanted to do, activity. See if you can do this with your spouse, okay? Or your loved one. And if you don't, try a child, because you can do it with your child. Maybe a friend, I'm not sure. But I know that if you have somebody that's close to you, that you should be able to do this. So we're going to do this really quickly. Look in each other's eyes. Oh, you took it off? Good. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
And I love you.
I love you.
And I like you.
And I like you too.
Ah, thank you. See, very easy to do. Look each other in the eyes. Can you do that? I want you to give it a try. If you have a spouse, if you have a loved one, again, it could be a child, it could be a loved one, it could be even a parent, because sometimes communication is something that we don't really take it in, and we don't appreciate the moments. And during COVID, that has been a time, oh man, COVID has taught us a lot, especially with different couples, seeing what they've been going through, being able to be strengthened together. I'm really appreciative of that. So we're going to raise a glass of water. We're going to cheers it. And
Cheers.
I'm gonna say I appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well.
We can
Thank
do
you.
this. All
That's
right.
great.
Everyone, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for spending this time with us. This is Hope's Corner. Hope's Corner is about sharing love. It's about gaining knowledge, and it's about building a community together. So I wish you all the best. Thank you for sharing this time with us. God bless you. Any last words would you like to say?
Yes. Again, for those who are just now joining, one thing that we talked about is just like sacrificing ourselves for others. And whether that be your family, whether that be your significant other, your children, friends, just self sacrifice goes a long way. And that's it.
All right. Well, cheers, darling. We'll see you
Cheers.
later. Take care, everyone. Have a good evening. God bless. Bye.
Bye.